There's one single thing, one defining factor that separates people who build real, lasting wealth from those who just don't. And I'll tell you right now, it has nothing to do with your education, where you came from, or even how smart you are. So let's get into it, because the answer, it's probably not what you think.
It all kind of starts with a strange question. What on earth could a bumblebee possibly teach you about getting rich? Well, it turns out, pretty much everything.
You see, there's this incredible story about this little insect. And tucked inside that story is the entire key to unlocking your own financial future. So here's the thing. According to all the known laws of aerodynamics and physics, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. I mean, you can ask any scientist. They'll tell you its body is just way too heavy and its wings are way too small. By all accounts, it's a scientific impossibility. But here's the beautiful part. The bumblebee, it doesn't know any of that. It's never read a physics book. It's too stupid to listen to all the reasons why it can't do something. And so it just flies. It flies because nobody ever told it that it was impossible.
And that right there, that perfectly explains the real secret to building wealth. Because when you really, truly get down to it, the path to financial freedom, it works the exact same way.
See, we've all been sold this idea that building wealth is some complex financial game, full of spreadsheets and confusing strategies. But it's not. It's an emotional game. The technical side, that's actually the easy part. Just how easy? Well, think about this for a second. If you invest just $4 a day, $4, into the stock market from the time you're 21 until you're 65, you are pretty much guaranteed to retire a millionaire. The plan itself is almost laughably simple. So why doesn't everyone do it? Because of this. We are swimming in a sea of opinions. And when it comes to money, everyone's got one. And a lot of that advice, well, it stinks. This is where that emotional game really kicks in. The second you decide to do something different with your money, to save more, to invest consistently, to not buy the fancy car, you're gonna face an enemy. And that enemy is what I call the noise. It's that constant chorus of voices, both outside your head and inside it, telling you all the reasons you're wrong. It usually starts out simple, just direct doubt. Oh, you can't do that. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't use a 401k. You should use an ETF. No, ETFs are dumb. You should be buying individual stocks. No, you should only invest in real estate. Then, it gets a little more personal. Who do you think you are trying to get rich? Who are you to want something more than what you have?
Then the noise pressures you to just be normal. Wait, why are you selling your car? You should be spending money like a normal person. What's wrong? Are you having money problems?
And finally, it attacks you directly. You used to drive that nice car. Now you're driving that old piece of junk. Seriously, what is wrong with you? Is your brain broken? That's the noise. And all of that noise, all of that pressure, it all boils down to the single most expensive phrase in the entire world. A phrase that has destroyed more dreams than anything else in history. And that phrase is, what will other people think? This right here. This is the fork in the road. This is where you have to make a choice. It's a choice between blaming the world for why you're not where you want to be, or taking complete and total responsibility for your own wealth.
And look, what's fascinating is that everything on the left, it's all true. The tax system can be unfair, corporations are trying to get you to spend, banks have their own agenda, and schools don't teach this stuff. But blaming them, it changes absolutely nothing. It might make you feel better for a minute, but it leaves you totally powerless. The only real path to wealth is focusing on the one and only thing you can actually control, and that's you.
And this is a perfect example of what happens when you make that choice. For years, while I was earning over $1 million a year, I drove a beat-up car that was worth maybe $500. People literally thought I was nuts. They made fun of it, they judged me, but you know what? What they thought had zero, and I mean zero, impact on my bank account. I didn't care about their opinions. I cared about my goals. We're all wired with this deep, deep desire to just be normal, right? To fit in. But let's actually stop and look at what normal means in our society today. The majority of people are broke. The majority are unhealthy. The majority are unhappy, and the majority of people absolutely hate their jobs. So I have to ask you, is being normal really something we should be aiming for?
So, if normal gets you broke, unhealthy, and unhappy, what's the alternative? Well, it's pretty simple. If you want a different result, you got to have a different approach. And that approach, it doesn't start with a calculator or a spreadsheet. It starts right here, in your mind.
It really just comes down to this one skill. The number one most important skill for building wealth isn't picking the right stock or finding the perfect real estate deal. It's your ability to filter out all the crap, to just ignore the noise, shut out the doubts, the judgments, and all that bad advice. Because look, the actual how-to part of this is dead simple. It's TRM, time, return, and money. The more time you have, the better your return is, and the more money you invest, the richer you will get. That's it. That is the entire technical game right there on one slide.
But here's the bottom line. Anybody can learn the technicals. You can watch a video and figure out what a brokerage account is. You can learn what an ETF is. But all of that knowledge is completely and utterly useless if you don't have the mindset, the emotional strength to actually stick with the plan when that noise gets really, really loud.
So when you strip it all away, the plan to build wealth is simple. The path is right there. It's not some big secret. The only real question, the one that truly separates the rich from the broke, is this. Are you willing to be the bumblebee? Are you willing to ignore all the noise and just fly?